So we did our book review on Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein. And to start off, we're going to talk about the main conflict in the story, which wasn't really a conflict. It was more of two perspectives and on two different timelines, one from the 20s and one from present day, and then how they would eventually meet. And to start off, the main characters were Vivian and Molly. Vivian was from the 20s, and Molly was from present day.
And Molly is kind of like a dynamic character. In the beginning of the story, she's kind of like the gothic kid in her school, and everyone kind of gets the gist that she's just like a stereotypical teenager, and Vivian kind of gets that gist as well. But as the story goes on, you can definitely see Molly changing into a more, I don't want to say stable person, but she's just very different, and she develops a really good relationship with Vivian, and you can definitely tell the changes in her from the beginning of the story to the end of the story.
Because the reason that they even met in the first place was because Molly was about to go to juvie, and instead she had to fill her 30 hours in of volunteer work. So she's volunteering to help Vivian clean out her attic, which is full of boxes of like memories. So they, as time went on, like she would go there and they would just like move boxes, but then they started looking at stuff, and Vivian would tell Molly stories from like pictures or clothes or just whatever was in those boxes, and she would tell her the stories behind them. And that's where the two timelines come in, because as Vivian would tell Molly the stories, it'd be from Vivian's perspective from the 20s, and then it would switch back to present day where they're actually interacting. Then when it's Vivian's timeline, it's just telling her story from beginning to end, where they would finally meet at the end. So yeah, there wasn't really a conflict, just the two timelines and how they dealt with both being orphans and how they would like get like kicked out from their home where their parents died, and then they would get kicked out of their future homes from adoptive parents. So that was the main conflict. And would we recommend it?
I would recommend it, but only to a certain audience, just because it's very slow at first, and you definitely have to be a patient reader in order to enjoy this book. So it's really just up to the kinds of books that you would usually read.
Because there's so much background knowledge that you have to remember, and in the very beginning of the book, because they have to set it up somehow, and that was how they did it. So yeah, we would recommend it, but...
Yeah, but it's definitely not like an action story or anything like that.
Whoops, sorry. Okay, that's all.